What's going on, everyone? So, going through the San Antonio Spurs players as we move closer to training camp, kind of breaking down what I expect, what the expectation should be going into the season, giving my thoughts and opinions. And of course, I want to hear yours, so let me know down in the comments. Did a video on De'Aaron Fox. Now we're going to move into Stephon Castle. He's one of the interesting guys, right? Does he start at the 2 or the 3, start him alongside De'Aaron Fox? Kind of like the idea of having that kind of point of attack defense at the 1 and the 2, kind of have the head of the snake, so to speak, kind of be out there with Wemby cleaning it up and swiping it down with the tail, right? Whatever gets past the head, boom, you got the tail, swipe it down, right? Stephon Castle definitely needs to improve on his 3-point shot, and you're seeing him work on that. Did a whole video about him, doing the 500 drill and all that stuff. He's working hard and making the attempts to elevate the 3 ball. I'm not expecting him to be necessarily a 40% this year. It's incremental increases, right? Can you slowly progress year in and year out? Rookie of the year, coming in year 2, do you hit that sophomore wall, or do you kind of just be one of those guys that can get beyond it, get past it, and kind of take that next step, continue to show that growth? Particularly from 3-point range on 4.1 attempts was 28.5%. Good thing is, because that's not great, but good thing is that you can only go up, right? Like, I don't think he's going to be much worse from 3 than basically making 1 out of every 4. So I'm okay with him. Can you get to 32%? Right? There's nothing crazy, right? 32% still isn't great, but you start to see that growth exponential. Stephon Castle's hard to judge because of the current roster and where does he slot in? And what I mean by that is Stephon Castle could be one of the top 3 guys, and he has the ball in his hands, and he's the playmaker, and he's doing all this other stuff, and he's going and giving you 20 a night. Or he could be the guy that is just that Swiss Army knife guy, because you have De'Aaron Fox, you do have Victor Wembanyama, Devin Vassell, maybe he starts coming back into his zone, and last year was just a rough year for him, and he starts to show those strides. Dylan Harper, right? He's going to get opportunity. He's supposed to be this offensive savant and all that stuff, right? You start going down the list of this team, and it's there's a lot of offense on this team. So does Stephon Castle come in and anchor as the defensive, versatile Swiss Army knife type guy? A guy that I like to compare Stephon Castle to, and I'm not saying he's as good right now, I'm not saying he'll ever be as good, but I think it's a nice comparison, is Jimmy Butler. And the reason I like the Jimmy Butler comparison is Jimmy Butler is one of those guys that, you need me to get you 30? Give me the rock. I will get you 30, no problem. You need me to get you 15, 8, and 8? Get you 15, 8, and 8. But he doesn't care, right? Whether he's giving 30 or 3, as long as the team is winning, he's one of the few stars that's willing to buy in and do the dirty work and embrace the dirty work and make the hustle plays. There's not very many stars that are willing to do that. Most stars don't want to do that because they're doing everything else. They're the star. That's why you have all the role guys that are doing it. That's why guys like Alex Caruso and stuff like that are so significant and important for teams. Lou Dort, guys like that, right? So that way SGA doesn't have to do the dirty work. He can just be the scorer and the bucket getter and the playmaker and all those other things, right? Can Stephon Castle kind of be that Jimmy Butler type where it's on any given night, hey, Fox doesn't have it tonight, or Fox sits out or whatever, don't worry, I got us, right? Boom. Handle business, right? But most nights, he's the guy that he's, if you're just box score watching, you're going to be disappointed, right? Like Jimmy Butler. If you just box score watch Jimmy Butler, most of the time, you're probably going to be disappointed. But if you actually watch Jimmy Butler play, you're like, dude, Jimmy Butler single-handedly won that game. And it's Jimmy Butler had 7 points. And it's clearly you didn't watch that game. Dude, that guy was everywhere. He had his hand in everything, right? He controlled and dominated that game, right? That's what I mean by Stephon Castle. It's going to be kind of interesting to see where he falls in because, there is a version of this where he's the odd man out, right? Because you got De'Aaron Fox. If Devin Vassell gets back to being Devin Vassell, right? And then you have, Dylan Harper. If Dylan Harper starts to really come in his own, Stephon Castle could kind of be a little awkward. Yes, you could play him at the 3 some, but what about Julian Champagnie? What about Harrison Barnes? What about, Carter Bryant? All 3 guys in which are also bigger and would give you more of an advantage at the 3. Stephon Castle's, he's 6'6", right? He's got good size, good length, all that stuff, but, he's not 6'8", 15 that can defend 1 through 5 for you, like a Carter Bryant or Harrison Barnes or something like that, right? Like, so again, like those guys, yes, can play the 4 at times, but you have Jeremy Sohan and stuff. So, like Castle, I'm glad that we're seeing Castle make those improvements and really working hard. I'm curious to see how much opportunity he gets, how many minutes, how much on-ball opportunities does he get, how many scoring opportunities does he get. He's kind of one of the hardest ones to gauge because you have your all-star that you just gave a max to. You have your new shiny toy that's supposed to be the next great superstar in the league in Dylan Harper. Does Stephon Castle start to slowly get pushed over for those guys? Right? I don't necessarily think that'll happen in the beginning, but as we progress into the season, also is Stephon Castle even starting? Do they do something with like a, De'Aaron Fox, Devin Vassell, Harrison Barnes, Jeremy Sohan, and a Victor Wembanyama, right? Something like that. Do they go that route, or do they go maybe more shooting with like Julian Champagnie and Harrison Barnes on the wing? And then Wemby and then you have Dylan Harper and Stephon Castle coming off the bench as that 1 and 2 for you. That could be a possibility. That could be the interchange, right? But then, okay, well, who's closing at the end, right? Are your 2 young guys just not closing for you? Like, so they're not getting that experience? Like, there's a lot of questions in that regard of how they're going to approach this and go about it. But in general, I'm really excited to kind of see how Stephon Castle, just the natural strides and progress he makes. And he could be better this year and not have the same kind of stats or better stats than last year. Right? That's something to kind of keep in mind too. Like I could see, because he's probably gonna be playing a very different role. Right? So last year, 27 minutes per game, he got 12.2 field goal attempts per game. I wouldn't be shocked if he's getting like 10. Because you got De'Aaron Fox for a full season. Victor Wembanyama is probably, you've seen him from year 1 to year 2 go up. He's probably taking 20 attempts a game, right? Then you have, Dylan Harper and all these other guys, right? So I wouldn't be shocked if Stephon Castle kind of drops to like, maybe 10 field goal attempts per game, which would naturally drop his percentage. But like reboundings, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal, and half a block, like that I could see. Like I could see the dirty work stats being more. Like I could see him having a better plus minus this year for the Spurs, where it's like when he's on, like Spurs are just a far better team. But like if you again just kind of box scores watch, you're kind of like, dude, Stephon Castle's not very good this year. But again, it's like if you watch the games, he might be the most important player on that team. Like I could see something along those lines. But I want to see Castle work hard. And I do. And I talked about this the moment we drafted him. It was that like the beauty of Castle, he's one of those guys that can be that Swiss Army knife. He can slot in and play whatever role you need from him. And that's where I think he's best to fit in for this team. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. Helps me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.